Using AI from contract acceptance to close of escrow. Introduction. The contract is accepted. Now the clock starts. In the previous section, we followed the transaction from the listing agreement through contract acceptance. We explored how artificial intelligence can help organize disclosures, marketing activities, showing schedules, offer reviews, and negotiations. Once the contract is signed, however, many agents make the mistake of believing the difficult part is over. In reality, contract acceptance is where the real work begins. Imagine a buyer and seller have finally reached an agreement on a home in Gilbert. Everyone is excited. The buyer begins planning their move. The seller starts packing boxes. Family members are notified. Utility transfers are discussed. It feels like the transaction is complete. But behind the scenes, a series of critical deadlines immediately begin counting down. The earnest money must be deposited. Inspections must be scheduled. The lender begins processing the loan. The title company issues the preliminary title report. The appraisal must be ordered and completed. Contingencies must be monitored. Disclosures must be reviewed. Closing preparations must begin. Every transaction contains dozens of moving parts between contract acceptance and close of escrow. Missing a single deadline can create delays, disputes, or even transaction failure. Artificial intelligence can help agents manage these activities by creating organized systems that improve communication, track deadlines, and reduce administrative oversights. However, AI does not manage the transaction. The licensee remains responsible for ensuring that every obligation is completed properly and on time. Understanding the contract-to-close process, many consumers view a real estate transaction as a single event. Experienced agents understand it is actually a series of interconnected milestones that must occur in the proper sequence. The contract-to-close period often includes inspections, title review, disclosure review, financing approval, appraisal completion, contingency management, repair negotiations, final walkthroughs, and escrow coordination. Each milestone depends upon the successful completion of the previous step. When one area falls behind schedule, the entire transaction can be affected. Artificial intelligence helps agents visualize the entire process by creating transaction roadmaps that show major deadlines and responsibilities. Rather than reacting to problems as they arise, agents can proactively manage the transaction and keep all parties informed. Creating contingency tracking systems. Contingencies are among the most important deadlines contained within the Arizona residential resale purchase contract. Inspection contingencies, financing contingencies, appraisal contingencies, and title review periods all require careful monitoring. Many disputes occur because someone assumed a deadline was further away than it actually was. Artificial intelligence can help create contingency tracking systems that identify important milestones and send reminders regarding upcoming deadlines. For example, an agent might prompt AI to create a transaction timeline showing every contingency period and the actions required before each deadline expires. The resulting timeline provides structure and allows agents to monitor transaction progress more effectively. The goal is not simply remembering deadlines. The goal is managing them before they become problems. Managing inspection activities. The inspection period is often one of the busiest stages of the transaction. Buyers schedule inspections, review reports, consult contractors, and evaluate property conditions. Sellers often become anxious while waiting to see whether repair requests will be submitted. Artificial intelligence can help organize inspection activities by creating inspection timelines, repair request worksheets, and communication schedules. Inspection reports frequently contain dozens of observations, and AI can help categorize those findings into major defects, maintenance concerns, safety issues, and cosmetic items. This type of organization allows buyers and sellers to focus on the most important issues while improving communication throughout the process. However, AI should never replace licensed inspectors or professional evaluations. Monitoring financing progress. Financing remains one of the most common reasons transactions encounter delays. Loan approvals involve multiple steps, including document collection, underwriting review, appraisal completion, and final lender approval. Many buyers mistakenly believe financing is complete once they receive a pre-qualification letter. Experienced agents know that financing must be monitored throughout the transaction. Artificial intelligence can help create financing checklists that track lender requests, document deadlines, appraisal milestones, and underwriting requirements. These tools help buyers stay organized and reduce the likelihood that important lender requests are overlooked. The result is often a smoother financing process and fewer last-minute surprises before closing. Tracking appraisal milestones. Appraisals play a critical role in many residential transactions. Buyers, sellers, lenders, and agents all want to know when the appraisal will occur and whether the value will support the agreed purchase price. Artificial intelligence can help organize appraisal-related tasks by creating appraisal tracking systems that monitor scheduling, completion dates, report delivery, and follow-up requirements. If appraisal issues arise, AI can also assist by organizing negotiation options and helping agents evaluate possible solutions. The technology cannot determine property value, but it can help manage the process more efficiently. Creating communication schedules. One of the most common complaints consumers have about real estate transactions involves communication. Buyers often feel they are not receiving enough updates. Sellers frequently wonder what is happening behind the scenes. Artificial intelligence can help agents create communication schedules that provide consistent updates throughout escrow. For example, an agent might generate a weekly transaction update template that outlines completed milestones, upcoming deadlines, and outstanding tasks. These communication systems help manage expectations while reducing anxiety for both buyers and sellers. Better communication often leads to smoother transactions and happier clients. Using AI-generated transaction calendars. One of the most powerful uses of AI involves creating transaction calendars that organize every major milestone from contract acceptance through closing. A transaction calendar might include earnest money deadlines, inspection periods, disclosure review deadlines, appraisal scheduling, loan approval milestones, final walkthrough dates, signing appointments, close of escrow. By placing all of these activities into a single organized timeline, agents gain a clearer picture of the transaction and can more easily identify potential issues before they become significant problems. The contract remains the controlling document, but AI can help create a visual roadmap that improves organization and accountability. Compliance monitoring throughout escrow. Arizona licensees remain responsible for complying with state laws, ADRE regulations, and brokerage procedures throughout the transaction process. ARS Section 32-2151.01 establishes record retention obligations, while AAC R428-1103 requires brokers to exercise reasonable supervision over real estate activities. Artificial intelligence can support compliance by helping agents monitor file completeness, document delivery, disclosure acknowledgments, and transaction milestones. These systems create consistency and help reduce administrative errors. However, technology does not replace compliance. The licensee remains responsible for ensuring that the transaction is handled properly. Broker oversight and transaction supervision. Brokers have a vested interest in ensuring transactions are managed correctly. Missing documents, missed deadlines, and incomplete files create unnecessary risk for everyone involved. Many brokerages are now incorporating AI into their supervision systems by using technology to identify incomplete files, missing signatures, overdue tasks, and compliance deficiencies. This type of oversight helps brokers provide support before problems escalate. AI becomes a valuable management tool that improves visibility into the transaction while supporting broker supervision requirements. Documentation requirements and file management. Every communication, disclosure, inspection report, amendment, and contingency response becomes part of the transaction file. Maintaining complete records is essential for compliance, risk management, and future reference. Artificial intelligence can assist by creating file review checklists that identify missing documents and organize transaction records into a logical structure. This helps agents maintain complete files while preparing for audits, broker reviews, and future questions regarding the transaction. Good documentation remains one of the strongest forms of professional protection available to Arizona licensees. An Arizona transaction example. Consider a transaction involving a buyer purchasing a home in Queen Creek. The contract has been accepted, but several important deadlines are approaching. Rather than relying solely on memory, the agent uses AI to create a transaction calendar, inspection schedule, financing checklist, appraisal timeline, and weekly communication plan. As the transaction progresses, the AI-generated workflow helps identify an upcoming financing deadline that could have been overlooked. The buyer submits the required documentation to the lender, the financing proceeds smoothly, and the transaction closes on time. The AI did not close the transaction. The AI helped the agent stay organized. The agent managed the transaction successfully. The period between contract acceptance and close of escrow is often the most demanding stage of a real estate transaction. Inspections, financing, appraisals, contingencies, disclosures, and communications must all be coordinated carefully to keep the transaction moving forward. Artificial intelligence provides powerful tools for organizing these activities into structured systems that improve efficiency, communication, and consistency. Transaction calendars, contingency trackers, financing checklists, communication schedules, and compliance reviews can all help reduce administrative errors and improve transaction management. However, AI remains a tool, not a substitute for professional oversight. The licensee remains responsible for monitoring deadlines, maintaining documentation, protecting client interests, and ensuring compliance throughout the transaction. The most successful agents use AI to stay organized, communicate effectively, and anticipate potential problems before they impact the transaction. In today's real estate environment, that combination of technology and professional judgment can make the difference between a stressful closing and a successful one. Online discussion question 1. Why is the period between contract acceptance and close of escrow considered one of the most important phases of a transaction? Answer. This period contains critical deadlines involving inspections, financing, appraisals, disclosures, and contingencies that must be managed properly to ensure a successful closing. Question 2. How can AI help improve transaction management during escrow? Answer. AI can create transaction calendars, contingency trackers, financing checklists, communication schedules, and workflow systems that improve organization and reduce missed deadlines. Question 3. Does AI eliminate the need for broker oversight and compliance monitoring? Answer. No. AI can assist with organization and monitoring, but brokers and licensees remain responsible for supervision, compliance, and transaction management.